Well, look like somebody's got a bit fancy with the purple lighting setup. Haha, well, I'm either channeling my inner prince or I'm accidentally turned my studio into a nightclub. Tried to go with the leading our own way colours. Let me know in the comments if you think it's a glow up or if I should stick to my day job. Oh well. But speaking of transformations, what happens when a child with dyslexia grows up in an absolute chaos but refuses to let either define their future? Today's guest, Helen Pollard, is living proof that our biggest challenges can become our most powerful superpowers. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. As you know, I'm your host, Andrew White, and over the next 3 parts this week, we're diving deep into Helen's incredible journey. In part 1, we're exploring how she turned learning differences and family turmoil into entrepreneurial gold, building multiple successful businesses across arts, education, and events. If you're ready for a story that challenges, that will challenge everything you think you know about limitations, hit that subscribe button and let's get started. Don't forget to drop a comment on the purple lighting, that is. I need to know if it stays or it goes. Enjoy. Don't forget to come back for part 2. Welcome to Leading Our Own Way. I'm your host, Andrew White, and this is the podcast that unveils captivating narratives of resilience and personal triumph. This podcast is for anyone seeking inspiration and insights on overcoming life's challenges. Follow and subscribe, and then we can lead together forever. Well, we've got another Brit on the podcast tonight. Welcome, Helen Pollard. How are you?
I'm really good. How are you?
I'm great. I've been excited to meet. I think we should probably start off how we met.
Yes, definitely.
I think that's good. So my friend, a former guest, Alex Ward, hosted a speaking event at your lovely venue.
Yeah, so we've got an amazing Roxy space in South Melbourne, in Australia. And they just wanted a really great chic venue to do something with. And they're also friends of another company that I work with called Mums Who Wine. And I'm really invested in them. And they actually got suggested the venue. And then when they come and saw it and they said, yeah, it's ideal for what we want. And it was a good night, wasn't it?
It was a really great night. Yeah, it was absolutely amazing. And when I heard you talk, I was like, oh, we've got another Brit.
I know. It's so nice to hear the accent though. It just makes you feel a little bit of home, bit of hug from home, I think.
Absolutely. And one thing I've learned from talking to people on this podcast and meeting people, I've always said everyone's got a journey, and every journey is worth sharing. And when we opened up and I said about the podcast and what it was about, you started to open up, and it's amazing when you do start to open up. Some beautiful things can evolve from that, and that's why we sat here tonight.
Yeah. It was just so good to I don't normally would share my story, and sometimes recently, I don't know whether it's getting older and my kids growing up and things like that, I have really started to open up. I feel like I do have a lot to share, and especially when I was hearing about your story as well, you just made me feel really comfortable to be able to do that. So I think you've got that real warm heart and friendly face, to be able to but you did make us feel really, and we have got very similar things sort of going on as well, and I felt we did really connect, and we only met that night, and the next thing I know we were chatting a couple of weeks later, and here we are. So we don't actually really know much about each other, but I feel there was a real it's great.
Yeah, and that's what's beautiful about human connection, right? Just being the art of talking and just open up that language, and these amazing things can happen. And funny enough, that night actually, Alex introduced me to a gentleman called Gordon Jenkins, and we found out he grew up 3 streets away from me in Manchester.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm actually interviewing him tomorrow night.
Oh, brilliant. Oh, it's going to be, you're going to be surrounded by the Brits, the bloody Poms.
And he's a bloody mank as well, so is he?
I don't know about that.
Even better, Helen.
Oh.
Well, it was funny though, because we've become good friends, me and Gordon as well, and he's got a beautiful, unbelievable journey. And you'll have to tune into that one because it's insane. Makes me sad actually. But he's doing wonderful things like yourself, and that's where we should probably begin. I always start off, Helen, because one thing I've never changed about this podcast is, one, the artwork, but two, the title. It still stands strong, leading our own way. And I think we all live on this planet and we all lead in our own way.
Yeah.
We all see the world, we all can see the same thing, but I do think we feel and look at it differently, if that makes any sense. And I like to start off with the guest of going into some of these beautiful things that you're currently doing right now and how you're leading your own way.
Yeah, so I'm currently running 5 businesses at the moment, so 5 companies, all in the art, events, really igniting people's imaginations through what they really want to do. The first business that I had was an art school. So, I did a fine arts degree back in England, and when I came over to Australia, really wanted to connect with my industry and who were my people. And so I started to look at some opportunities in the art industry. And that's when I went and did my master's at RMIT in art and public places. And from there, I really then grew that community, and there was a crying out for arts education, for people to come and just have a beautiful space that they can do lots of things. So at this current time, at the moment, because I've got lots of projects in the pipeline, is Arty Art School. So Arty Art School was my first business. So because I'm English, I love art and tea. So it's ARTEA. So we're actually branding the name as well and coining the name. And then from that art school, I developed, I've got an after school art program in 16 schools. So I wasn't just happy with just having one venue, which is with the studio. So that supports 15 practicing artists, all women. And they must be exhibiting, they must be really working in their fields to be able to be teaching in the after school. So they talk about being an artist, being exhibiting and what it means. So that to me is the pinnacle of like sharing our story of being an artist with our young, inspiring, young budding artists coming up. That, art can be a career. And it's not just a thing you do at school. And I think that's been a lost for a very long time. And I want to prove to people that you can have an amazing career in the arts. So from the art school, I really wanted to take it up a level. We were just the pottery and the painting and the resin and stuff like that. But we were doing these beautiful hens parties. And I was, tired of seeing hens dragging in their eskies and all their glasses and everything like that. And I said, and my husband is a builder, he's chippy by trade. And I said, let's find a venue that we can actually up the level, up the ante. And that's when I opened up Roxy's, and that's when I met you at that night. And it's a beautiful converted warehouse. It's, all got chandeliers in it and fairy lights and beautiful art deco bar. And now we do the full thing. So catering, cocktails on arrival. So when we do our team building events, we actually just left this afternoon doing a cocktail making class. We had 25 engineers in there, and they were all laughing how to put a cocktail together. And I'm like, you guys are all engineers. Do you know what I mean? And it was just really great to see people out of their comfort zone, doing something really creative, really connecting. But in a really beautiful space, like there's art on the walls. So it's a very different branding and very different positioning to any other art companies that are out there. And then from that, we were hiring lots of florals and decorations and lights and furniture. And the opportunity came up last year to own Melbourne Event Florals. So that's primarily wedding, in the wedding industry, but beautiful installations, huge, working with all the top wedding venues. And they do also hire as well. So I added that to my repertoire of businesses. And then I wanted to do another Arty Art School, but on the other side of the city. So I've just purchased Party Corp, which is an all children's kids venue, all decked out, beautiful. But I'm going to be bringing over the Arty venue, the Arty branding, and making that into a second art space at the moment. So so it's just the passion of me being loving that drive for business, loving that drive for the next opportunity, looking for that drive for relationships and building partnerships and who I can connect with and what's the next big thing in the art industry that we can bring as a package? What's the next big thing happening? So that's my drive. That's my my excitement.
Yeah.
So yeah.
I can see it and feel it. And
Yeah.
it is a beautiful venue. I really like, speaking of that, we should collaborate and do like a leading our own way event at your place and have you on stage speaking as well,
There we
sharing
go.
your journey in front of everybody again.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
Well, that would be fantastic. And that's what it's also about, like the amount of people I've talked to and spoken to, and then next thing I know, we're having an event. So that's the
Yeah.
mums who I spoke to in the car park when I was dropping my kids off. And that's how then I met the girls who that night had that event, because it's just chatting and talking, and I think people see the passion and they see the drive and they go, oh, I'd love to come and see your studio. And then they come and they go, wow, we love this space. What can we do here? And that really is, I think that's really how we're becoming successful. Because, and also as well, like the way we work is, what do you want to do? Let's make it happen. Whereas a lot of places have got packages, or this is what we do and this is it. Whereas like a couple of weeks ago, we had a 30th rollerblading party. So
Oh,
no
wow.
other venue, they went to 3 other venues and they wouldn't let them rollerblade. And I was like, he came in with his rollerblades on and went, oh, what's this venue? And I was like, get them on, test the floor out. What do you reckon? And he rollerbladed around, did a few moves, and it was just the best.
Wow.
And so and there was another, we had a really really quirky wedding. She came in with like green hair, all tattoos. She was like such a gorgeous, but she wanted to do her own artwork, like tapestry on the walls. And dress the walls up and make it really, and do her own decorations on the tables. These like resin jellies and really kitschy, really. She went to 3 venues and they were like, well, we can't put anything on the walls. We cannot. And as soon as she brought them in, and I think it's because I've come from an art background. It's
You're like, go for it.
I was like, I'll take my art down and let's get yours up. And it was so, and to see the venue, her venue, like her space. And even the night before, I said, come for a few hours, set it all up, and then the next day it'll all be beautifully ready to go. I had to leave them in the end. I was like, I've got to get the kids to bed. We've been here like 5 hours. So I just said, that's the code to the door. Make sure you lock the door. And no other place would have done that.
Yeah.
Just to let her, really express herself as well. And I think that's really coming from that background, has really helped that as well. So really to let people really do what they want to do. Yeah.
Yeah, you've got such an entrepreneurial journey going, and where did that come from? Because it sounds like you could have become an art teacher, as another route,
Oh, and I could have
right?
easily become an art teacher. Well, my mum's very driven. My mum's, and we'll go into some stuff probably later about childhood and things like that. But my mum was very, very, very focused, very business orientated. Had a few day nurseries in my hometown back in England. And she was always bringing on new staff and training staff, and I think, and my dad as well. He was a draftsman and in the oil industry, and that's where I think I get my creativity from the drawing and engineering types, architecture, design as well. But I think it's more the fact of sort of, yeah, just that drive to be in charge of my destiny. Like I want to be in charge of where I'm going, and no one can take that away from me. I know what I'm building, I know where I'm heading, and I know my obligation and what I want to leave as a legacy, and that's what really drives me. But also as well, like apart from one of my other jobs that I did, I've always worked for myself, so I've always had that opportunity to find that. And also as well, it's come from, so well, I don't struggle from dyslexia. I say I've reworded it and rebranded it as my superpower. But for a very long time, really difficult with dyslexia, like see numbers backwards, words jump off the page. Even now, sometimes when I'm writing, words change. Even when I'm trying to read things, it's really difficult, and that can be really frustrating, but it's also allowed me to work, I think, on multiple levels, And I've, inspiring entrepreneurs such as Richard Branson. He's severely dyslexic, and he actually talks about it quite a lot now, and he's
Yes.
really inspiring. So if
Mm.
anyone is really struggling or want to be inspired who has children who have dyslexia, or I think potentially probably ADHD as well. You really need to look at people who are doing some really amazing things in that field or as well. And that then brings me to my little boy. So my little boy Lenny. So I've got three boys as well. So yeah, I talk about my businesses, but I'm also a mother of three. I've got a 1.5-year-old Otis, and a 6-year-old Cooper, and a 9-year-old Lenny. So Lenny has dyslexia, ADHD, and a little bit AS as well, AD as well. So he's got a lot of things that he's struggling with, but he is such switched on, so intelligent. He's really, really beautiful. And is he in one of the pictures?
He
Oh,
is.
yes, the Star
Yeah.
Wars. Yes. I don't, we just recently went to that Star Wars exhibition. He's the one in the yellow top. And I don't know who had more fun at the Star Wars exhibition. And we got to make um, lightsabers, like the basis of it, and then we got to go on a green screen and we fought each other. So me and Lenny and the kids fought each other with the noise, light screen, and then they filmed it, and I was just like, oh my God, this is amazing.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was just taken a couple of weeks ago. Um, but I know he's on his own journey, and I knew I was on my own journey and struggled through, but now there's so much more we can nurture. And being academic is not everything, or
No.
reading your academic journey is going to be very, very different. But I think supporting him through that, to show him, he comes with me with a lot of the businesses. Like even when he was like 3 or 4, he's helping me set up the art tables, and all the cups need to be on a certain side with my,
Yeah.
OCD, or you know what I mean? Like, and so when he does things in and he has that level of understanding and excellence, and I can see where it's come from. Another kids that just shoves the plates and cups on the table,
Mm.
and he's doing, oh, Mum, have you thought about merch?
Yeah.
So he's already really going to be the next CEO of the company. It's wherever that takes. I can really see that already, but that's just amazing that we can nurture that. And so I never had that growing up. So yeah, so found really really difficult at school, really, really struggled, you know, uh, you know, even getting PTSD now, like, oh, in the dumb corner, she can't read,
Is that what happened to
I
you at school?
cry. What, sorry?
Is that what happened to you at school?
Yeah, yeah, it was very like a lot of people, everyone knew that, really struggled with reading, and then if the teacher asked me to read, everyone would go, oh, because I knew it's going to be this hard slog, and then eventually, the teachers wouldn't, and then I'd have to go out to another cause the cozy cottage or whatever, and do some one-on-ones with to get up to speed. And we did a lot of work around repetitive and a lot of work. But back then, like, I'm 43, so back then there wasn't the support, there wasn't the understanding as well.
Yeah.
I'm just really lucky that I had my mum who really fought for me, because everyone was like, oh, well, she's doing really well, she's really intelligent, she's really creative, she's really good at art. Maybe we'll foster that. And mum's like, yeah, but she needs to read and write. Like, these are the basic fundamentals.
Yeah.
So she got me these extra lessons to be able to go out. But when you're in primary school or in top primary school and you're going out to somewhere else, you get these bullying, you get sort of, you know, names and things like that. And luckily, I was very resilient, because you have to be when you sort of have to juggle lots of things. And I was had a lot of hearing problems when I was younger. Like, I learned to lip read a lot,
Yeah.
which has been good in my older years, because then I can lip read what people are saying. So it's great.
Yeah.
But yeah, lip reading really got me through. And it wasn't until I struggled reading, and I can vividly remember it, Rainbow. And it wasn't until I looked at the teacher's lips and looked at her, and then she covered her mouth and went like that, and 80% deaf, I couldn't hear. That was only picked up when I was about 6 and a half.
Wow.
And then I had operations on my ears, and it's still not, probably about 80% back, but it's still, still struggle. But no, that's all, that's made me really resilient and really look at things differently. And how do kids just adapt? They have to be able to adapt.
Yeah. Well, you struggled I suppose in a safe way. You had that struggle that you had to get through, right? You had no choice. So
Yeah.
you build that level of resilience.
Yeah. Yeah.
Absolutely.
And that's made me really resilient today as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, it just sort of, I think what's made me strong is just going through sort of bits of childhood trauma. It's even difficult to sort of talk about it now because I've buried it so deep that because I had to be so strong for my mum and my sisters that it's only recently it started to come up and starting to do sort of these interviews as well. It started to come up. So I had a really strong relationship with my dad. So it's me and my sister Anna, who's only 3 years younger than me. And my dad used to work away on the oil rigs and do engineering and do all the CAD designs and things.
Where did you grow up? Just tell us a little bit about where you grew up first, because who can't understand where your accent's from.
Yeah. Oh, well, I don't think I want to say that really. Nah. So I'm a Smoggy. So I'm from
I don't even know
Middlesbrough.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, is that what you're known as?
That's what we're known as. It's Smoggies.
Smoggies from Middlesbrough. Wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
no, we're called Smoggies because of the industry and we're in a bit of a valley.
Yeah.
And you don't know until you drive up to, say, Newcastle, something up the A19, and you come out, and Middlesbrough's a complete smog, under smog.
It looks like it too, no offence. Shouldn't say that on air. Sorry, guys. I'm only joking. I love you guys.
I'm used to it. But we were, there's a lot of industry. It's all the industry.
Yeah.
You'll know from Billy Elliot. Look, watch Billy Elliot, you know.
Well, I played basketball there once. We went and played Middlesbrough, so I've been there a couple of times, yeah.
Well, when we used to have a season ticket for Middlesbrough and we used to go down the Riverside or Essen Park and, Sunderland or Manchester, Newcastle would come up for the derby, they'd all wear gas masks and full bowler suits and they'd walk along and we'd be like, what's going on there, Dad? And he's like, oh, we're known for Smoggies. But when you're there in that environment, you don't know. And it wasn't until you go up to Newcastle and you look down and you think, oh my God, do we live in that? Mm-hmm. So Middlesbrough's, it was hard growing up in Middlesbrough. We were lucky because when we were younger, my dad had a lot of money. So my dad worked in the oil rigs.
Yeah.
And we had money. But there was a lot of the schools I grew up were very hard schools. There was a lot of drugs at schools, a lot of overdoses,
Even in
huge
school?
teenage. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm picturing Manchester here, but pregnant young girls as well.
Yeah. So I'd say probably from the age of 13 to 14, a lot of teenage pregnancies.
Wow.
15, you sort of a little bit I was quite cocooned because I was in a really good little cliquey group, but I was also, I played girls footy. So
Soccer to the Australians.
Soccer. Can't call it soccer. My husband would kill me.
Yeah, me too.
You can hear him shine. And so the sort of hard girls, the hard nut girls, I was sort of, because I was quite good, like I sort of got in with them a little bit as well. I was sort of a bit protected because they obviously didn't want me to, get my head kicked in because I was obviously part of I was a good goal scorer, so I was part of the team. So I sort of had to sort of slip between the two groups, which was really good. But it was, overdoses in toilets. There was a lot of, suicide, a lot of teenage suicides. Just people just grew up in Middlesbrough and didn't have much money, and they were, on the council estates, and then they married someone on the council estates and had kids on the council estates, and everyone just grew up like that.
Just
and
cycle,
there was a lot
isn't
of, big cycle. And so so we were lucky growing up having that the relationships, and we would go away skiing, we'd go away for good holidays. But that sort of all changed when my other two sisters came along, because I'm one of 4 girls, and I've got another sister, and there's a big gap of 12 years between Anna and Elizabeth. My mum had a few ectopic pregnancies between that, and that was
same mum and dad. Can I ask?
Same mum and dad, yeah,
Yep.
all the same mum and dad, yeah.
Yep.
So my mum had a few ectopic pregnancies through that, but that was my dad it's awful to say this, but give this had been away, obviously sleeping around. I'm sure I've got sisters and brothers in other countries where he used to work. I'm just one day waiting for a letter or a phone call saying I'm your brothers and sisters, like multiple affairs, multiple whatever. And he gave my mum this awful STI, and she didn't know she was pregnant, and she didn't know, and she had an ectopic pregnancy, and she nearly died. So I remember her bleeding to death, and the ambulance coming, and she got took away, and she was on life, like it was really bad. So that's when it was became really toxic. Mum and dad. Well, I think it was when I really started to become more aware that my dad was very quite not physically abusive, but mentally abusive, and
Yeah.
would come out with stuff. And when you're younger, you don't know it all, you don't hear it all. Daddy comes home, all the presents, like, takes you to dancing, takes you to footy, and then he's off again. Do you know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we had. I remember my friend, when my mum and dad did split up, saying to me, we were always so jealous of your family. Like, you always seem to have this beautiful life. And I said, yeah, but it's all bought love. I said, you had your dad there all the time. I said, my dad would come home, buy his expensive perfume when we were 12, 13 from duty free. You know what I mean? I said, it was all, and yeah, we'd have takeaways because people didn't have much money. So when we got this, takeaways and sports cars, and it's bought love. So when they split up, everyone was like, oh my God, like
Yeah.
this. And it became, something had kicked off, and my mum ended up in hospital. But it was around the time of my GCSEs. So GCSEs in England, what do you have here? Like,
I've gone blank now because
and
I
it's
don't teach high school. I'm primary, but
15, 16, like 15, 16, like
GC.
not that.
Oh, you have SATs, essay. I know what you mean. I've gone
Yeah,
blank.
but you leave
I know what you mean.
your big major school. So
Yeah.
obviously, I'm going through the challenges of
GCSEs in England.
GCSEs. Yeah, so I was going
Yeah.
through my GCSEs, but I wasn't sure what it was in Australia
Yeah,
for
I've gone
Australia
blank. Here.
people listening.
I'm a teacher too.
You score. When you get your,
Yeah, when you leave,
your
yeah.
score. And so obviously I'm going through the stress or the anxiety of dyslexia. Am I going to be able to read the questions in time to actually answer them? Am I going to be able to actually read them first before, or without even knowing without learning the content for the thing? And with dyslexia, I've learned that, and I've just read a lot into it. So you've got the average person takes 5 exposures to something. So I'll say just letters in different ways. But dyslexia, it's 50. So that is a huge gap between learning something, so repetition, and getting exposed to something. So obviously, me learning for doing my GCSEs was going to be a huge stress. And then all of a sudden, all kicks off at home, and the police come to the school and like, oh, your mum's in hospital. We need you to go to your friend's house. Don't go home. We don't know where he is at the moment. And that went on for a few days.
So how old are you at this point? This is when you were
I
when
was
you were
about to
leaving.
start GCSEs, so I was about 15.
Yeah.
About 15.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah, so about 15. So I had my 3 sisters. So my other sister's 3 years younger. There's a big 12-year gap. So Elizabeth is round about, I think she was 3, and then my mum had just had the youngest one, Lucy. So she was only a couple of months old, and that period was just awful. We were all split up for about a week in different places.
Yeah. Wow.
I was going to school I had the same school uniform on for about a week doing my GCSEs. I had none of my books, none of my revision notes, none of my sticky notes, stuff like that as well.
Yeah.
And then we finally got it back into the house, and we discovered that he'd emptied all the bank accounts. He'd emptied all the cars, got repossessed because they were all with the business. My mum under day nursery, he'd put that into bankruptcy. Been planning it for, I think, a couple of years, but just was finally something had kicked off. I think mum had done something or moved or put some money into her own personal account for some reason, and I think she thought she knew it was coming.
Yeah.
And then, yeah, so we had absolutely nothing, went to zero.
When did you sense Was that the first point of when the police came to the school? Was that with the first point of call that you realised something was wrong, or did you ever feel anything
No,
before?
oh no, it'd been going on for years, but it was never that physical. It never got physical. It was more I'd heard comments. My mum would come and sleep in my bed a lot when dad was home as well. She'd come and stay with me. So probably from the age of about 12, 13, you become more aware.
Yeah,
But she had three kids then, and then a fourth on the way,
it's
and then
confusing,
we
isn't
got
it?
the fourth would come, and it would all build us back together, and it just escalated. It's when Lucy was born, and Mum is a psychiatric nurse, and she was RGN qualified nurse then. She's gone back to do psych training. Went straight back to work. So she was working nights. She was during the day. She was doing some teaching, nursing. So she just went straight to support the family.
Yeah.
With literally, and and so I brought the girls up. So I call them my girls.
Yeah.
My sisters. And that people would think they were mine because we'd never see mum. Mum would never be around. She'd fly in, fly out. So if we were at like I was then finishing school and then was then heading to college, and the big phone calls, Lucy's sick or Lucy's bitten someone or something's happened or Elizabeth's whatever had, and so I can't get in touch with your mum. It's like, it's all right, don't worry, I'll come and get them. So them sort of coming out of college and heading over to the schools and grabbing them, or I'd be going there at teacher parent night, and Lucy just sort of got passed around, around everyone as well. But that made us really strong, made us really close. It's made me really close to my mum. Like we are more like best friends.
I think this is a good time to maybe share the picture of you and your mum, by the way. It'll pop up on the screen anyway, so it'll appear better than how I'm viewing it.
So that's Bernadette.
Bernadette,
my
good
mum.
old Bernadette.
Good old Bernadette. I know Bernie. She's my absolute rock. I go to her for everything. We've been through thick and thin. We've been through. I remember being at home and the bailiffs were on the door, and the little one was only Lucy. I think she was 6 months old, and Elizabeth was about 3.5. And I was like, shh, you've got to be quiet. Like we cannot let them in. And we're hiding in the house, and we're like, we've got to be silent. And Mum's at work, and I'm bringing us in, like the thing. She's like, don't let them in, don't let them in. And then she'd go to the bank and she'd explain the situation, and we've got the court order. But all that time, things don't align up straight away. So there's just that stress and that trying to let's just get through today. Let's get through tomorrow. Let's make sure. And the saddest thing that really came out of it was that I really I've lost connection with Anna. So my sister Anna, we're inseparable. We're two girls. We fought. Of course we fought. We fight like sisters do. But we were for 12 years before Elizabeth came along. We're 3 years between us. We were so strong, had such a strong relationship. So a couple of years we're still battling, we're still into court, we're trying to still get custody of the girls, sole custody of the girls, and Anna just goes missing. Anna's just doesn't come home, and we've called the police, and it was just awful. And then we found loads of gifts in her room and loads of money, like a couple of £100, like £100, like lots of money that if she would have been 14 then, that a 14-year-old shouldn't have, like designer Gucci bags, like just out this world stuff. And she'd been seeing dad separately. I don't want to say seeing him on the side because she's got every right to see him.
Of course.
But was seeing him without telling mum, which is fine. She's 14, you know that. But what he did was coaching her to come over, because then he's like, well, I've got one now. I don't need to pay you maintenance. I've now got one of the girls. I'm going to support her, and just solely supported Anna. But she became more of a just at home, and she went to school and stuff, but we're completely isolated from the family. We went to court over it, but the judge, by that time she was 15, I could turn from 15, And he just fed her a load of lies, just awful lies that, he was paying mum money, it was all lie, mum had the affair, he never had. And when you're 14, 15, and you want to be at home looking after a baby and a toddler with no money, or have the life of, I can give you sports cars and, handbags and money, and you can have whatever you want, I think years later she really regretted it, but it's really difficult to come back and say that you've made it the wrong decision. Like, it's very hard, and she's still very young. Like, that was only when she was 16, 17 when we finally could talk to each other, and because I was also quite angry as well. I was like, can't you see that, what's he doing, and you should be here with us, and our mum just uses us as a babysitter, we're just babysitters. And I'm like, yeah, but we're here to support
each other,
the family.
Yeah.
As well. So I've never really reconnected with Anna, which is really, yeah.
If Anna was to listen to this, then what would you like to say to her? Join us tomorrow to hear more from today's incredible guests and learn valuable insights to help you lead your own way. Don't forget to subscribe. We'll see you then.